Whoa, 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 whoa. What is up, Wack people? Yo, what's up, everybody? Hope everything is amazing for you all as always. I'm your host, OctaviusHaye, and this is the WACCast podcast. So with that being said, let's talk Wack to him. Alright, so you know we gotta go ahead and talk about it. So Tekashi 6ix9ine got caught up. He got the beats put on him at the LA Fitness, at an LA Fitness somewhere. He got caught. Finally, people have been talking about what they gonna do, what they would do, what they want to do, what they could do, and finally it happened to him. Tekashi 6ix9ine got caught, got beat down, got jumped. I think they robbed him too. Of course, it was recorded. They was stomping on him. His face looked a mess. His face looked swollen. He was walking out all discombobulated. He was on the floor. It was bad. It was real bad. It was a bad look for the man. Of course, now everybody's coming out with an opinion. Some people celebrating that he finally got touched. Some people saying, "Oh man, they shouldn't have bothered him. It wasn't right. They should have did nothing to him." Some people saying this is a learning experience. And my opinion on the whole situation is, look, Tekashi 6ix9ine has been egging people on. He's been begging people to touch him, to test his gangster, to do something. He's been bragging about how he don't have security most of the time. He's been letting y'all know that he open for business. He everywhere he need to be. He ain't scared. Come do something if you want to do something. That's what he's been advertising. So, to me, in my opinion, when you ask for that, when you call for that, when you give energy to that negativity, you cannot turn around and be the victim. Now, to Tekashi's point, he has not turned around and been the victim. It's everybody else with an opinion that it shouldn't happen, crying tears for the boy. The way I look at it is, you got what you asked for. You wanted somebody to try you, you got tried. You bragged about not having security. This is what happened. If you really weren't ready for it, if you really weren't about it, maybe you should have hushed up. I could see if after he came out of prison, Tekashi kind of just chilled out, didn't say nothing, didn't bother nobody, and was kind of focusing on doing his own thing, and was just letting things slide. But he was real tough and real ready to be in everybody's face, and pretty much was still acting like the same reckless kid that he was when he first got in trouble. That started all this whole snitching stuff. So for 6ix9ine to finally get his comeuppance, which is what it is, hey, it's a butt whooping that's well earned, and hopefully it does open his mind. But I'm not gonna sit around here and have revisionist history and start crying tears for him. This is the type of thing people do when someone passes away. All of a sudden, you start forgetting all the crappy stuff they did and start trying to act like they was a saint or only want to talk about the good. But nah. We need to address it all. And while I do agree, when I watched it, I'm human. I have feelings. I have compassion. I felt bad for 6ix9ine. I didn't like seeing the man on the floor like that getting stumped out. It was heartbreaking. I felt for him, man. You don't want to see nobody vulnerable like that being beat down. If you're a caring, compassionate person. Plus 6ix9ine ain't never done nothing to me, so there's no reason for me to hate him. But even still, I would still look. I wouldn't like looking at that for nobody. Even somebody I really didn't like, I would feel bad for him, which I did feel bad for 6ix9ine. But with that being said, although you can't feel bad for him, you can also acknowledge that this is his own creation. This is what he asked for. He got what he asked for. He's been begging for somebody to test him, to try him, to come and do something to him. And so somebody, did it for him. Wasn't when he was planning on it, but hey, very few things bad happened to you that you was planning on to happen to you, Just come out of nowhere, and that's what happened this time. So again, hopefully he learned a lesson from this. I heard Charlamagne the guy say this isn't a time for laughing, it's a time for learning. I happen to disagree with Charlamagne and agree with him. I think it's a time for learning, of course, but you can also laugh while learning. You can also have a sense of humor while getting an education, and if you want to laugh at 6ix9ine, go ahead and laugh. He asked for it. This is what he got. If you want to feel bad for 6ix9ine, feel bad for 6ix9ine, but don't turn around and try to shame other people. I'm seeing people like Wack 100. I seen Rich Dollar. Seen a couple other people try to shame folks for laughing or being happy about 6ix9ine getting beat up, or I've seen them talk about George Zimmerman ain't been touched, and I ain't got time for all this extra nonsense. Look, we talking about this fool right here in this moment. He got what he asked for, and it is what it is. If somebody want to go touch Zimmerman, go touch Zimmerman. I'm not mad about that. Go do that, but I'm not gonna act like I can't react to this until Zimmerman gets touched. Nah, forget that. But again, hopefully 6ix9ine learned his lesson, and he gonna carry security with him, and he gonna act a little bit different. Tasha K seems to have learned her lesson, because she went ahead after losing the appeal for the $4 million that she has to pay Cardi B because Tasha K was spreading misinformation and was, just talking a whole bunch of untruths about Cardi B after failing to appeal that decision by the judge. Tasha K said she throwing in the white flag, her words, not mine. She apologized to Cardi B and promised that this mistake will never happen again. She even acknowledged that she wrote a check that her mouth couldn't cash. It's unfortunate that she had to learn this lesson after now having to pay $4 million, but at least she's learned it so it won't happen in the future. And I'm hoping that a lot of people, a lot of content creators, people who make a living off of talking, voice their opinions, talking about other people, take this under consideration. Don't state things as facts that you don't know. There's nothing wrong with having an opinion or guessing on stuff, but when you start trying to spread information as facts and it's not, and you have no proof of that, and it's something that can hurt people's lives, especially people who got money, who can afford top-notch lawyers, who can afford courtroom fees and and the time it would take for all this to get settled, it's a good idea not to push them, and especially if you get a cease and desist. Now, Tasha K, she got that cease and desist from Cardi B. Cardi B wanted her to stop talking all this nonsense, making all these false accusations and claims. Tasha K didn't listen. She was doing her own thing. Tasha K didn't think that was going to happen to her. She was like, whatever, I'm doing me. Now here it is, a big bill, a big fee, fine, penalty, whatever you want to call it. She's got to pay that one way or another. Part of this is, just based off of the agreement of what she's going to have to pay to Cardi B. Part of this is legal fees. All comes up to about $4 million. And that's something that's going to hurt Tasha K's pockets, as she has admitted herself. So it's not me, checking her pockets to talk about it. She said herself she wrote a check that her mouth couldn't cash, and this is the result of that. Tasha K is still going to go ahead and be doing her thing. She still got her platform. Cardi B is Cardi B. She's a superstar. She's not really stressing off of this. This is just a lesson she wanted to teach somebody who wasn't really getting it. And the lesson has definitely been learned, because one way that you can definitely make sure somebody gets it is when you hit their pocketbooks. And that's what happened. Cardi B hit them pocketbooks. So Tasha K's got to go ahead now and come up with a game plan. And maybe, I don't know if she's already been doing this, maybe try to figure out a new way to approach what she's doing with her content, and approach, reporting on people and making sure she got the facts, or at least if she don't, hit them with the allegedlys or what you heard, but you can't confirm, something like that. Save yourself. So it looks like she's gonna do that. I know a lot of people have bad things to say about Tasha K, about how she runs things, how how she operates. Heard that if you don't want to come on a show, she would probably try to find some bad information about you and leak it. So a little vindictive. A lot of people are saying this is karma for Tasha, and hey, maybe it is. I don't know. She's not very liked, so something's got to be something to that. Is what I'm trying to say. I don't know, but whatever it is, hopefully this is the wake up call she needed to get it right. I guess this is what the podcast is about. At least for these first two stories, is about learning when you need to get it right. And unfortunately, sometimes we gotta learn the negative way, but hey, as long as you learn the lesson, it's a good day. So Sharp started all this nonsense talking about he knocked out Wack 100, or let's just say this. Sharp said that he had a squabble with Wack 100. Sharp said that Wack 100 had the footage and that Wack 100 could release it whenever he want to, but Sharp pretty much said that, him and Wack got down, and I think on his own, Sharp put it out on his own and pretty much said he knocked out Wack 100. AD from No Jumper had Sharp on his, or formerly from No Jumper AD, had Sharp on his show, and Sharp was talking about it again. And AD even said that Wack, he verified it, that Wack and Sharp had a fight. But Sharp again was alluding to the fact, or suggesting that he had knocked out Wack 100. Now, if y'all know Sharp is also still part of No Jumper, one of the last few crew members left over there since the great migration, the great exodus of No Jumper that came a week or two ago. But Sharp's still over at No Jumper holding it down. Him and Sharp and Wack had a couple words for each other on Clubhouse, and then of course that came out to, what came from that was Sharp talking about they got into it. So everybody talking about Wack 100 got knocked out, Wack 100 got knocked out, Sharp confirms Wack 100 got knocked out. Well, everybody's favorite little online troublemaker, DJ Akademiks, was on Twitch. He was streaming, and he had just got word of all this news, so he had to go look it up. So Akademiks, looked up Sharp on AD show, or AD podcast, YouTube show, whatever it is, and he was listening to Sharp talk about how he squabbled with Wack and how he did his thing, and again alluding to that he had knocked out Wack 100. So Akademiks, Wack 100, they real good friends. At calls Wack, did you get knocked out? Now, Wack is doing some masterful, talking around without saying much, not saying much anything, not letting Akademiks talk, not letting Akademiks get points off that really, and explains the situation. And so pretty much since Akademiks didn't really get to talk, except say a handful of things, one of the things Akademiks said was Sharp saying he got knocked out. Wack took that, what? He said I got knocked out, and started going in about, I'm gonna tell you the truth. So what Wack is claiming, and Akademiks tried to tell Wack that actually Sharp never really said he knocked you out. Everybody else was saying to it, Sharp was just kind of leaning into it, but he never said that he knocked you out. Wack didn't want to hear it because I think this was Wack's agenda from the beginning. I wouldn't be surprised if Akademiks and Wack kind of had this conversation, the phone call plan, but Wack comes and says, you know what, this was all fake. Sharp asked me if we could run a play. We was like we got into a fight, and Wack said that he was going to edit some video footage together to make it look like they fought, and it was going to be like a 50-50 thing. Nobody won, nobody lost. But Wack said when Sharp started talking about he knocked out Wack, which Sharp never said, I don't think, or maybe he did. But whatever the case is, Wack's whole point of airing this out was he thought that Sharp was trying to say Wack got knocked out, which Sharp was heavily implying and wasn't really denying that happened. So yeah, I can see that. But anyway, so then Wack puts out this audio of him and this other chick that worked for him talking and pretty much saying this was a skit and they was gonna put together something fake to make it look like they met up and fought, even though Wack claims he never saw Sharp in person. That's probably the only direct statement he made actually answering any of Akademiks' questions. Most of the time he was just over talking Ak and not really trying to go into detail. My opinion is, quite frankly, is I think that Wack faked that video after he got into a fight with Sharp, and actually this video, Wack accusing or Wack making a claim that he edited together a doctored video so that it can look like Wack and Sharp had gotten into a fight and they were both in on it, makes me think more that Wack got into an actual fight with Sharp, and Sharp may have knocked Wack out, and Wack, being the genius he is, decided that he was going to put together a little fake tape thing so that he can discredit anything that Sharp says. So now Wack is like, nah man, look, see, we was putting together a little fake fight. It wasn't real. But for all we know, he could have got dusted off, knocked out. Sharp hit him with the 2-piece and the biscuit. Wack got up and said, man, I can't let this slide. We gotta go act like we put something together. So, everybody think this was fake. I can't let him get that off on me. And of course, Akademiks, being the Wack fan that he is, he just kind of let Wack get his stuff off and don't really challenge him too much. But it could be true at the same time. I don't know. I'm just saying what Wack showed, that evidence he presented to show that this was fake and it was all staged and Sharp is taking a little too far, actually kind of made me lean further towards Sharp's point of view on this, that this was a real fight. So we'll see what Sharp's response is. I ain't seen nothing yet. Hopefully we get something good from him, and we'll take it from there. I have a better opinion, or I have a better understanding, and maybe change my opinion or strengthen my opinion of what I think so far. So that's our show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in and getting this Wack wisdom, and hope that you tune in next week to get a little bit more from me. As always, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I'm dropping new content on the channel. And if you're listening to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, please make sure to follow us so you're notified every time I'm dropping new episodes on those platforms as well. With that being said, this is the WACCast podcast, and I am whacking off.
It's the WACCast podcast. Yeah.
Talk Wack to me. Talk Wack to me.
Yeah.
Talk Wack to me. Talk Wack to me.
It's the WACCast podcast. Yeah.
Talk Wack to me. Talk Wack to me.
Yeah.
Talk Wack to me. Talk Wack to me.